Welcome to Plastic Surgery Secrets Talk, the podcast where we go behind the scenes of everything interesting in plastic surgery and the aesthetics world. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Spiegel.
I'm Dr. Tower.
And I'm Dr. O'Neill from the Spiegel Center just outside of Boston. We are excited for season 3 to continue. For those of you who are listening and not watching, there are a lot of props around here. So you can't get it wrong that it is October.
It's clearly October and it's Halloween. And what we're going to talk about today, we talked in August about some of the strangest things that we've put into people.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now for October, we're going to talk about some of the strangest things that we've taken out of people. And I'm happy to go first. So I do a lot of brow lifts and forehead surgery. And one day I'm doing a brow lift on someone. And we're lifting up the skin on the forehead. And in a brow lift, you lift up the skin on the forehead, bring it up, and then put it back down in a higher position, and it sticks or heals in that new position, so your eyebrows raise. So I'm doing this, and I see a lump, but it's not a lump in the tissue. This is a lump on the bone, and it's not a lump on the bone like I'm used to seeing, like it could be an osteophyte or an osteoma or some sort of bony growth irregularity. This one was black and round, and I'm looking at it, and I've done enough trauma surgery to figure out what it was, and it was a bullet.
Lodged in the bone.
Lodged in the bone of the person's forehead. Now, this was a surprise to me.
Like right in the center?
Right in the center of their forehead.
Okay.
Right above the eyes. This is usually the kind of thing that someone mentions to you at their preoperative visit. You say, have you had any health issues?
Yeah.
And they might say, well, I took a bullet to the head. So
Literally a bullet.
Yeah. So we woke them up from surgery, after surgery, finished the surgery. And I said to the person, I found a bullet in your head. Did you ever get shot in the head? And they were like, I don't think so.
Caused amnesia.
Yeah, I made them forget. I don't think so. Now, the most amazing thing about this is that this was not the first time that's happened. I can think of 3 times in the last 25 years where I found an unexpected bullet in a person's head.
How do you know that? How did this person know that they had a bullet in their head?
I think it's usually not quite a BB, but it's like buckshot from a shotgun or a bird shot. So it's something small. It's not. We're not talking a military type bullet because that causes damage
through the skull.
Yeah, that goes right through the skull. That's a bad situation. We're talking about like almost a BB or a piece of a shotgun.
So
shell.
I had a patient come to me because they had a BB in their cheek, but they knew that it was there, and they were shot in the cheek as a child by like a sibling, some sadistic brother or something like that,
or sister. Come on,
or sister. I think it was the brother though, and
I'm sure it was.
This was 1-2 decades later. Patient's in her 20s or 30s, and she goes, "Well, I'm worried it's made out of lead, and that I could be getting lead poisoning for this." And I'm going, well, we could check your lead levels, but the only other way to know would be to fish the BB out of there and check it out.
See what it's made of.
Yeah. Ultimately, she declined, but
she decided to live
with it. It does happen. Yeah, she decided to live
That's
with it because
crazy.
I often take it out.
I haven't had such crazy things.
Well,
happen.
Yeah, but this I think what happens is someone shoots one of these things, it ricochets off something, hits you in the head, and it's a smallish thing, and you were probably, younger or like, ow, what was that? Mosquito.
Ouch.
And it's a tiny little hole, and it heals as a tiny little pore. Or like an acne scar.
I'm gonna be the downer. The most I ever take out is a little bit of hyaluronic acid.
You're lucky. I can tell you the most challenging foreign body I've removed.
I want to hear that, but I just have to say my joke. In both cases, they got shot. Thank you very much.
Right. So all of our listeners, or maybe you're new to this, we're facial plastic surgeons. Before we become facial plastic surgeons, we're head and neck surgeons, and then we subspecialize. So as head and neck surgeons, we get called occasionally for foreign bodies, trauma, things get lodged in the neck or the throat or whatever. 2 weird ones. Number 1, somebody had a fistful of sewing needles that they had swallowed and gotten lodged in their throat and neck.
Yeah.
That one was bad. And the other one was, you know how there are these little orange stakes that people will push into the snow to like
Yeah, sure.
form a trail or something like that. These tall, skinny ones.
If you're from a warm climate, we use them to mark your driveway so the
When
plow doesn't plow your grass.
When I was training, I trained at Yale. We had a parent bring their child into the emergency room. They had been sledding, and somehow, like, as they were sledding, they got whipped in the face by one of these little stakes in the snow.
Yeah, they're made of fiberglass.
And it's like, ouch, that really hurts. But they didn't know if, there was some blood in the mouth or something like that. They couldn't see anything. CT scan, there's like the tip of that little stake lodged inside the throat somewhere. So 2 foreign bodies. And
Tell me they were lucky they saw
you got them out. Yeah. We get them out. It's a pain in the butt, but you can fish them out of there.
Or a pain in the cheek, the mouth, as it turns out.
Pain in the cheek.
I've had 2 other ones I can tell you that are good ones. One is there was a guy, and I wish I could tell you his name. I can't because his name was so perfect for his injury. But he was about 18. He was working construction, and he was using a nail gun to put up walls. And nail guns shoot like 4 to 6 inch nails. And the way they work is they look like a gun, and they're hydraulic, and you press the button and it shoots a nail with enough force that it'll go through a couple of 2x4s. But for safety, and so that you can't just shoot your friend across the construction site, you have to depress a stopper against the wood. So you put it on the wood, push in,
it has to be
it goes in about a half inch
Yeah.
to engage, and then you can press the trigger. So it's like, boom. So this guy was doing this, and he's working. It's the summertime, putting the nails in, and he's sweating, and he's getting itchy. So he every now and then decides to scratch his face with the gun.
Oh, no.
So he's doing this, and he's scratching his face with the nail gun. And at one of these times, he scratches his face, depresses the safety, finger goes off, and he shoots the nail into his mouth towards his brain.
Yeah.
And he comes in, and we have the x-ray, and I'm looking at him, and this lucky dude, and him, lucky and unlucky, but he's lucky because he missed everything. His lip was nailed up in a permanent sneer like Elvis, and I could see the nail right next to his eye.
A millimeter from the
millimeter from the eye,
globe.
going into his brain area, but he went into his sinus, missed his brain, missed his eye, missed any important blood vessels and nerves. We took him to the operating room. I grabbed the nail, pulled it out as if I was King Arthur, becoming king of England by taking the stone, the sword out of the stone. And then we look at him to see if anything bad's going to come out. Nothing did. We said, all right, go home.
Okay, I've got one more. Because this is how this goes. Like, you tell a story, then it
reminds you of another
triggers
one.
a memory of me where I'm like, oh my
I like
God.
the triggers comment in the gun story.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm triggered. I'm literally triggered by this.
You have one after that?
No, I have now. I took a little hyaluronic acid. This is crazy what you guys are saying.
So this one, again, this goes back to early days before becoming a facial plastic surgeon. I was on call in the hospital, and I got called because somebody was in the emergency room and they had swallowed a fork, like a full-size.
It can happen.
Dining fork. Yeah, it happens to everybody. Yeah, it happens, time to time. So
what was on the fork? What kind of food?
None. So the story was, this person had woken up in the middle of the night and felt some tickle in the back of their throat
I see where
or
this is
something.
going.
And I don't know what it was, but they decided, well, if I could just scratch that itch in the back of my throat, it'll go away. And so she decides to take a fork and scratch the itch, and it triggered a gag reflex that instantly made her swallow like probably a 7-inch long fork or something like that.
And she didn't work for the circus.
This is just like one of those freak incidents. No one believed this story, by the way. So they call psychiatry. Everybody's interviewing, trying to get this story straight.
His fork lady swallowing forks, of course.
It's totally
I'm
unbelievable.
sure she's not going to do it again.
And so, there's multiple specialties involved. Head and neck surgery, thoracic surgery gets involved.
In case it goes to the chest.
And gastroenterology, because it can
goes all the way down,
yank it out of the esophagus. So meanwhile, while they're getting these scans and everything, the fork eventually migrates midway down the esophagus. We ended
halfway
up
to her stomach.
Not being the heroes of this story to take it out. The heroes were thoracic surgery, had to do a thoracotomy.
Which means they had to cut her open.
Clamshell open the chest
cut her ribs
Cut-
open like for heart surgery. And
Cut through the
open.
esophagus, so an esophagotomy to get the fork out. Sew it back
These
up.
are dangerous procedures.
Can you imagine? Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow,
Stranger,
is she
the truth
lucky
is stranger
she
than
ended
fiction.
up
Yeah, she did fine, but
like she ended up where she ended up. I mean, that's just.
I'll end this with a story of two chefs at a restaurant in Chinatown in Boston. And I guess they were having an argument about something or other. They were getting mad at one another. Maybe it's about how many shrimp go into the shrimp fried rice. I don't know what it was about. And you know the Chinese meat cleavers that are like a big rectangle with a.
oh yeah, sure.
Well, one guy was sick of the other guy, and then the other guy came in to see me at the hospital with this meat cleaver sticking out of his forehead.
Still in.
Still in,
Nice.
stuck in there, couldn't take it out, right in there. And once again, they missed everything important, lodged it in the bone, a couple of stitches, and back they went.
Amazing.
Talk
So
about
The skull
Halloween.
is
Oh
a
my
durable bone.
Skull's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's time for Two Truths and a Lie, how we're ending things this season. We've had Dr. Towers, we've had Dr. Rainiers in the last 2 episodes. If you haven't heard them, they're great. Go back and listen. And now for mine. Ready?
Yeah.
Which of the following things have I not removed from someone's ear? And by ear, I mean deep in the ear canal. Okay? Piece of candy corn, a cockroach, or crack cocaine?
Well,
Candy
do you want to go first? Yeah, you guess
You're
first.
saying no
You
candy
guess
corn?
first.
Yeah, I just think the other two are so bizarre.
You think the
that I bet
candy-
you they're right.
Well,
Once again,
everybody.
candy corn, cockroach, or crack cocaine. I'm going with all C's.
I know that I store my crack cocaine in my ear, so that one's got to be true. And who hasn't had a cockroach in their ear? So I'm also going to say candy corn is the false one.
Very well done. Candy corn is the correct answer. I have not removed candy corn from the ear and have removed the others on many occasions.
Okay.
So thank you all for listening to Plastic Surgery Secrets Talk. If you like what you heard and want to get in contact, call us at 617-566-3223 or email us at
info@drspiegel.com.
or follow us on social media at
Dr. Spiegel.
Yes.
DRSPIEGEL.
The I
Okay.
before the E.
We will hopefully have you come on back for our November episode, or if you're binging this, see you in a moment.